Hello guys, I'm Dustin and thank you for parking your butt with me today. Chúc mừng năm mới, happy Lunar New Year! Welcome back to the Park Your Butt podcast. I am back with my microphone and a sock. When I upload this, Lunar New Year is going to be in a few days. So this is going to be the Lunar New Year / Asian episode. Growing up Asian episode. Weekly update. We hit 1,000 subscribers. Hey! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the love on the podcast and for all the comments too. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate genuinely every comment, and you guys interacting with the podcast helps genuinely so much to like gain more of an audience and stuff like that. And it just makes me happy that, people are actually like listening, and it makes me realize, oh, people are actually listening to this, which is crazy because I'm like speaking for so long and people are actually listening. Like, what the hell, man? What the hell? That's so crazy. And you know what? I was going to talk about this later, but let's just get into it because this is the Lunar New Year episode, baby. If you are not watching, maybe click the YouTube video and watch it for a little bit so you can see what I'm wearing. But I'm wearing an ao dai, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's a traditional Vietnamese garment that people wear to like special occasions on Lunar New Year, weddings, just any special event. But I feel like you just wear it if you want to too. Why not? So here it is. I'll do a little circle for you guys. There you go. If you're watching the video, but for my audio listeners, I'm wearing a custom black ao dai. I got this made in Vietnam when I visited it this past summer. I was in Da Nang, which is where my mom grew up, and we got one of our relatives to make this for me. And they made it in a quick turnaround too, within a few days. And it was also very, very cheap and inexpensive. And yeah, and I'm wearing like these black trousers. There's like a little white inner lining, and it's so nice. It's like it's well fitting, but I want to say it's borderline too tight, especially the inner layer. Like I couldn't zip up the inner layer of this outfit. There's like a white inner layer for like the undergarment. I couldn't zip it up. Like I can't zip it up on myself, so I can only like half zip it up. So it's half zipped up right now, but I don't think you can tell because it's underneath. And you know what? And we didn't really have time to like fix that and make it so it's not that tight because I wanted it really well fitting, and I prefer my clothes to be a bit tighter anyway. But also like we were only in Da Nang for a few days, so like we were working what we got. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just plain black. It has white buttons. Really nice, really good quality. I got to choose out the fabrics myself. And it's really long too. I know you can't really see in the frame, but it's really long. And if you guys are Vietnamese or know anything about ao dais, you know that finding an ao dai like this for men, not common. Like you can't really find it anywhere. If you go to the store, it's always going to be like these like wider fitting ones. It's always so ill-fitting and so unflattering because for some reason the men's ao dais are just like super wide and have no shape, and then the girls get these really cute eyes that like hug their body so nicely. So you guys know me. I was not about that life, so I got one custom made. Hey. And yeah, I think it fits me very nicely. It's also very long. The men ao dai usually are like, for some reason it's always short. Like they cut it off at such a weird length. Honestly, I would like this to be a little bit shorter, and it has like a white undergarment that usually doesn't come with the ao dais if you get it pre-made. So overall, I really love this. Next time I go to Vietnam, I definitely want to get, honestly, maybe 2 more made, just in a different color, because I'm going to wear this for Lunar New Year this year because I really love it. And also, I don't want to wear my ill-fitting one that I have that's like red and stuff. The only thing is it's black and like it's a superstition. You shouldn't wear black, blah, 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 blah. But y'all know what? I'm going to wear it anyway because my body, my choice. And also my mom said I could. She's like, if you want to wear it, just wear it. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. If you guys want to see the full process of making it and like picking out the fabrics and stuff like that, I have a reel that I posted on my Instagram, so you can go watch that. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing. That's what I'm wearing. I would love to get like a red one made, maybe a green one. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. But other things for the weekly update, the TikTok ban. Let's talk about the TikTok ban, or shall I say the TikTok timeout? Because like, what was that? What was that? Okay, if you guys listened to my first episode, you guys would know that like I do not care about the TikTok ban. But if I'm being so completely honest with you guys, I low-key wanted it to happen. Like, I wanted it to happen. So when it got deleted, I felt I know a lot of people were crashing out, but I was like, whew, It actually happened. Oh my God. Like, that feels really good. It felt really good. Like, I felt free. I felt very free. And I was like, wow, the world is changing. This is a new era, guys. Like, we're entering a new era. Because I feel like us as a society, we need something new. Like, I feel like the last time we had like an era was during the pandemic. That was like a big thing that affected everybody. And I feel like this would have been another big thing that affected everybody and would have marked like a new era. And like, I feel like life would have changed. You know, something different would happen with the world. Because I feel like you need something like that to like make the world change. And I feel like TikTok being deleted would have probably made the world a better place. I was seeing like TikToks, people being like, like I was gonna read a book and like change my life, and now TikTok's back, so I can't do that anymore. And honestly, I feel that. Okay, first of all, 12 hours, really? That's it? That's it? That's how long you deleted it for? Or banned it for, shall I say? Like, you couldn't make it last at least like a week? And also, can we talk about how obviously it is propaganda? Like, what was that messaging? We're working with President Trump. Thank you, President. Fuck Trump. What the fuck? I don't know. I think this really marks the decline of TikTok, because now I don't really know the specifics. Like, I don't know if someone bought it. I don't know. I don't know if it's like Meta bought it, which I guess everyone hates Meta now, which I understand, and that pissed me off. Actually, that was really, really annoying. I'm like, fuck Trump. Like, what? Like, who's gonna bring up that he's the one that started this in the first place? And he wants us to kiss his ass or something? Like, he wants to win over the youth? Bitch, we hate you. We hate you. Fuck Trump, fuck the propaganda. But I wish TikTok actually got banned. Like, at least for a little bit, you know? Like, selfishly, like, with TikTok getting deleted, people would have moved back to YouTube. And I want the YouTube era to come back. Like, can we bring back Prime YouTube when everyone was on YouTube? And YouTube was so fun. And now I feel like YouTube lacks so much community and it's so boring. Like, I don't have any creators to watch. Like, why is everyone so goddamn boring? Everyone is so goddamn boring, and everyone's in this like minimalistic, like quiet era, which I don't like. Like, I like the minimal aesthetics, but I hate like this quiet era. Like, everyone is so quiet. Does that make sense? Like, oh my gosh, if I click on a YouTube video and you don't talk within the first 2 minutes, I'm clicking out of your YouTube video. I need personality. I need someone to talk. And I feel like everyone's always like, hi guys, welcome back. And like whispering and like doing this calm. And today we're going to teach you how to self-growth. Like, why? Like, I get it. Like, I enjoy it. I enjoy those videos, but only like certain people, you know? Like, but everybody's doing, which I'm not hating. Like, I love it. And also I'm like adapting to that. Like, I personally really like the minimal aesthetic and have been kind of leaning into that as well. But like personality, like I don't enjoy watching that all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I need some diversity. I need some more creators. Like, please guys, we need YouTube to come back. And like with TikTok getting banned, like I was like, oh my God, this might bring back YouTube. Like, YouTube might become fun again. Also, it's just like more fun when you're a creator on YouTube, when there's other creators also on YouTube. And it feels like more of like a community. But yeah, that TikTok ban was lame. So lame. And I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens to TikTok now. Like, is it just going to go completely back to normal? Like, what's going to happen? And I feel like I've also already been seeing things about how like there's a lot of censorship going on and stuff, which I haven't read too much on. So I don't know the facts, but that seems very interesting to me. And honestly, TikTok is kind of my least favorite platform anyway. But catch me on there still, though. Catch me on there still. Liz, you taught me how to live. All right, getting into the actual topics today, we have another themed episode. We're going to be talking about Lunar New Year, growing up Asian, and just a lot of Asian things, a lot of Asian topics. So, what is Lunar New Year for those who do not know, which let me actually Google it. Lunar New Year is the beginning of a new year based on a lunar calendar, or informally but more widely, lunar solar calendars. Lunar calendars follow the lunar phase, while lunar solar calendars follow both the lunar phase and the time of the solar year. Lunar New Year is a celebration of the arrival of spring and the beginning of a new year on the lunar solar calendar. It is the most important holiday in China, and it is also widely celebrated in South Korea, Vietnam, and countries with significant overseas Chinese population. Okay, I was about to look up like Lunar New Year history, but it's just like way too much information that I'm not Brittany Broski, okay? This is not going to be informational. It is also the year of the snake, which is said to bring transformation renewal, and spiritual growth. It's also believed to be a time of wisdom, cunning, and adaptability. What can the year of the snake bring for individuals? Personal growth, career, relationships, finances, and family. Personal growth, people may be encouraged to let go of the past and focus on self-discovery. Career, people may experience new opportunities and challenges that test their skills. Relationships, people may experience increased passion and romance, but also potential conflicts. Finances, people may experience opportunities for enhanced finances. And family, people may focus more on family responsibilities. I honestly really feel that. I feel like with my life currently and the things going on right now, those things really relate to my focus right now and things that have been happening in my life. So I'm kind of excited about this year and to see what it brings. Also, I'm the year of the horse. I'm born in 2002, and next year is going to be the year of the horse. So it's going to be my year, which you might think is a good thing, but I actually heard that it's a bad thing for it to be your year. So I'm kind of scared about next year. But you know what? We'll deal with that when it comes. For now, it's the year of the snake. It's not my problem. So I wanted to talk about how New Year's works and how I celebrate Lunar New Year with my family and our traditions and stuff like that. But I feel like overall, this seems to be like the general vibe, at least for Vietnamese communities. First of all, we get dressed up, usually in like ao dai or like nice clothing, formal wear. It's like a new year. So it's if you want to start off right, you want to dress formally, you want to dress nicely, you want to make sure everything is clean, make sure your house is clean, stuff like that. There's a lot of superstitions when it comes to Lunar New Year. Also, our parents, usually in this morning, we'll start with our parents and they'll give us some red envelope. Imagine this is me giving you guys if you guys are an audio listener, I have a red envelope in my hand right now. It's a really cute one. It has a dragon in it. Imagine me giving you a red envelope. This is me giving you guys a red envelope right now. Here you guys go. Chikmang namai. Happy Lunar New Year. Wishing you guys a good year. Here you go. Here you go. Yep, take it. Oh, okay, you took it. Usually that's how we start off the day. Like, our parents will sit down. We'll usually sit in like the living room because it's like our nicer room in the house. And we'll like knee down or whatever, wish our parents good health, blah, 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 blah. And they'll give us a red envelope. And if you guys don't know what red envelope is, it's basically a red envelope and they put money in it. And we used to collect a lot of red envelope as a kid because also like this was like the time, like as a kid, obviously you're not making money. So this was like the time of the year I was like, okay, this is time to make money. This is the only time you get money, okay? This is time to cash in. I feel like over the years, as you get older, you kind of just get less and less and less red envelope. At least that's been my personal experience. We'll go to a temple sometimes. There's a temple near us that we go to for Lunar New Year, and they have things like dragon dances, firecrackers, which I'm pretty sure it's actually illegal. But a lot of things we do during Lunar New Year, I think are illegal, which I'm going to get into. But yeah, we'll go to temple. Everyone's dressed up. We take pictures. There's lion dances as well as dragon dances. And there's someone dressed as a Buddha, at least for the Vietnamese community, because a lot of the Vietnamese community is Buddhist. There's like food. There's jẹ. There's, all the Vietnamese foods and desserts. You pray or whatever, depending on who you are and your religion or whatever. Yeah, that's what we do. And then usually I'll go to the Bay Area because that's where the rest of my family's from. Shout out Bay Area, shout out. I can never claim the Bay Area because I'm just not from the Bay. I'm from Sacramento. Shout out 916, which by the way, I get so... Guys, Sacramento is not the Bay. I don't know who's spreading that around. Sacramento is not the Bay. And people be saying like, oh yeah, I'm from the Bay and you're from Sacramento. You're not from the Bay, bro. Where's the Bay? Where's the Bay in the area? Are you talking about Folsom Lake, bro? Usually I'll go to the Bay Area, where all the rest of my family's from. Literally all my cousins, aunts, uncles, they all live in the Bay. And we'll just basically visit family, collect the red envelope, visit the graveyard, for like past relatives and like my grandma and grandpa and stuff like that. We'll drop flowers, light incense, stuff like that. And then, okay, this might be so niche and this is only for like California Asians and NorCal Bay Area Asians, but like we hit up Century Mall. Okay. If you know, you know. You guys don't know because I don't want to leave anybody out. Century Mall is basically this mall in San Jose, California. And it's like an Asian mall. And it is lit there for like Lunar New Year. There's like, it's so crowded. There's so many like sometimes fireworks, but again, it's illegal. So I think firecrackers, like they'll do actually last year there were fireworks though, but they'll do firecrackers and it's supposed to like ward off evil spirits. But honestly, I think it's just fun to do the firecrackers. There's this little like pop things where they have like rocks in them, and when you throw them on the floor, it like makes a popping noise. It's very loud. Lunar New Year is very, very loud. Lots of smoke. Again, very illegal. Another illegal thing we love to do, we love to gamble. We play this game, which I'm so sorry for my pronunciation. Bao Cul? Bao Cul? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. And I know my Vietnamese listeners are cringing right now, but y'all, I don't know how to speak Vietnamese properly. I'm not fluent, okay? But basically, it's this like gambling game, and there's like 6 circles on this layout, right? And there's animals on it. There's a crab, there's a rooster, a fish, different little animals. These are like everywhere at Century Mall specifically. There's just stands and stands and stands of them. Like, this is all legal, by the way. Like, I remember growing up, when a cop would pull up, everyone would be like, cops, cops. And everyone would like put it away hella fast and put away the tables and everything like that. I don't know if they still do that, because I think maybe it happens every year. So I'm sure they probably got used to it by now. But again, this is illegal. This is like illegal gambling. But it's for fun. And basically what you do is there's these 3 dices, and there's animals on the dice, right? So basically they'll shake the dice in this bowl and this plate, leave it there, and then people make their bets. You can bet however much money you want on whatever animal you want. Basically, if you get the animal, if your animal is on the dice, you get double of that. So basically, for each dice is 1 double. Does that make sense? So let's say you put $1 on the rooster, and then one of the dice has a rooster. You get double. So you'll have $2 total. Let's say all 3 of the dice is rooster. Then you get, is it triple? Or would it be quadruple? If I put $1 down, you get 1, 2, 3. You get 4. Okay, I think it's quadruple. So basically it's like that. I wonder what like Korean people do and Chinese people do. Even though I'm part Chinese, but like mostly I just celebrate Vietnamese traditions. So I don't really know. But that's how we celebrate. Overall, it's just a really, really fun time. And also I really love seeing everyone dressed up. And a lot of times, like me being Asian American, which actually that's going to be a topic once I get into the growing up Asian American thing. I feel like I don't feel super connected to my culture. I think it's very obvious I'm very Americanized, but also it's strange because I don't feel any guilt. I know I've talked to a lot of my friends, and they feel a lot of guilt for like either they don't feel connected to their culture, they feel very Americanized. Like one of my friends, they visited their motherland, and they felt very like a foreigner. They felt like very like an outsider, even though they speak fluently, everything, but like people could tell they were American and they felt bad about that, like stuff like that. Personally, I have never felt like that. I've never felt bad other than like not being able to speak the language fluently. I will say that sucks. Honestly though, I can't even be like, this is horrible, blah, blah, blah. Cause like that just takes effort to learn. I could just learn it. So that I can't even be like, cause that's on me. Like I need to learn that shit. Granted, I wish growing up, I just learned it, which actually when I was younger, I knew Vietnamese better, but that's because like we would visit Vietnam. I was surrounded by people speaking Vietnamese, so my Vietnamese was better. But I grew up in a white suburb, so it's very, I guess it makes sense why I can't speak Vietnamese. I'm going to actually talk about that a lot lately because I feel like people get a lot of shit for that, especially on the internet. Like I know your mom, Ashley, and her sibling talked about that and how they get a lot of hate comments about being too Americanized and stuff like that. I don't know if I'll ever actually get to learn it completely just because I'm already, an adult and I still don't know it. I can understand a lot of it and I can speak like very, very little. Like I could say yes, I can count, I can do little stuff like that. But I honestly feel like my siblings and stuff are way better at Vietnamese than me. Even my little sister is better at Vietnamese than me. But there was a period last year where I tried learning Vietnamese fluently and I was on Duolingo and I actually got pretty far. I would do it I had like a 200 something day streak, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that helped me a little bit to like refresh my mind, but also I would only do 5 minutes a day, so it wasn't that helpful. And also I feel like with Duolingo, there's different dialects and it was very northern. So some of it just was weird and didn't make sense. With Vietnamese, like if you have a different accent, I cannot understand you. You have to have a southern Vietnamese accent for me to be able to because my parents are from the South. Language is so interesting. Yeah, eventually I would really love to learn Vietnamese, but I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's not like my top priority. I wish I learned it when I visited Vietnam this past summer, which I will get into again later in this episode. But it was hard to like communicate. And I felt really bad that I wasn't able to speak a lot. Like I'd be able to understand some things, but I couldn't really respond. And my relatives don't speak like perfect English. I don't know. I just felt really bad only being able to like say thank you and not being able to like talk to locals. But actually, a lot of the younger people in Vietnam speak English. Anyway, getting into growing up Asian American. So I filmed a YouTube video a few years back. I was probably like 17 or 18. I filmed a growing up Asian video on YouTube. You guys are welcome to go watch it. I tried watching it like a few days ago and I could not finish it because I was just, I don't know, that video, my voice is so different and I couldn't finish it. I mean, I probably said some like good shit in there. A lot of those points I said probably still stand. I just felt like I was very immature in that video. Not that the stuff I was saying was invalid. From what I remember, everything I said is still valid. I still believe the things I said. That's how I usually feel about everything. Like once I say something, I'm like, yeah, and I stand by that. So what? And what about it? And what about it? So if you guys want to go watch that, that's where I actually talk about growing up Asian American as like a kid and being in school in a white suburb and like microaggressions and stuff like that. So if you guys want to hear that, watch that YouTube video. For this, I'm going to talk about kind of like I'm going to give you guys an update growing up Asian American and just talk about some random things that I personally have been thinking about and I personally have experienced as of recently in my 20s. Because I feel like that video was good for like my adolescence. And now I'm going to talk about growing up Asian now in my 20s in modern society. So let's just get into it. I went on a side quest this past year and I was on a Jubilee video. I've always wanted to be in a Jubilee video. I love the Jubilee channel. I signed up to be in a Jubilee video and I was in the like six Asians versus one secret Mexican or Latino or something like that. In that video, if you read the comments, which by the way, oh my God, I already have a whole YouTube video where I reacted to that and explained what happened and stuff like that, but it still pisses me off to this day. But I'm not going to talk about that because I've talked about that in another YouTube video already. But basically, if you guys read the comments of that video, a lot of it are comments about, wow, these people are not Asian. Like this should have been 6 Asian Americans and stuff like that. But I'm like, okay, we're still Asian. Like what? And Jubilee's an American channel. Like what do you guys expect? And a lot of the comments I think were probably from like, people who live in Asia, who are from Asia. Can we just talk about Asians who are from Asia versus Asian American beef? Like what do y'all have? Like why are y'all so mad? Okay, these are the only times I ever feel patriotic. During the Olympics and when another country talks shit. I feel like on the internet, there's so much hate coming from Asians who live in Asia towards Asian Americans. No idea why. I want to say jealousy. Like, are you guys jealous for some reason? I don't know. But also, I don't know if that's my patriotism. Patriotism? My American pride. Like, I don't know if it's just like my American pride talking. I'm like, I don't know. I also feel like there's a lot of hate towards California Asians, especially from Midwest Asians. Why don't we all just love each other? Like we're all part of this community. Why don't we just support each other and love each other? And for the most part, I feel like it's like that, especially in the creative Asian community. I love the creative Asian community. I love you guys so much. You read the comments, they're like, oh, they don't even know how to speak their mother tongue, blah, 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 blah. Like these people are fucking white, basically. They're not Asian. And I'm like, that's not what my 23andMe says, bitch. That's not what my 23andMe says. Oh, that's not what my blood spills. What do you have to say about that? You have to take into consideration people and how they grew up and their environments. If an Asian person grew up in America, obviously they're going to be a mixture of both. They're going to be Asian American. American is going to be a part of who they are because that's how they grew up. That's their environment. That's what they know. And they're American at the end of the day. You know, and I feel like all these like Asians from Asia are very, very hateful. I don't know why. Like it's really unnecessary because you can't compare an Asian American to a person who grew up in Asia because you guys grew up in 2 different lives. You guys are both 2 different types of communities. And I also actually talked about this with my friend Jewel, who is Filipino. We were talking about how in her school, people like hate on Americans a lot. Especially, I think there's like Asian people at her school. She goes to this like really prestigious nursing school in the Philippines. People would hate on like the Americans there and the Asians there. Stuff like that. And I was talking to her about that on why we like concluded like it was jealousy and also because they're being hypocrites because a lot of them want to or wish they were going to go back to America. In the Philippines, or let's just be real, in Asia in general, like colorism, huge. And you can see that through the celebrities there, like why the celebrities are always like mixed or stuff like that. But you can say that about any Asian country, especially Southeast Asia. My friend Jewel was basically saying stuff like a lot of people in her school who are from the Philippines would hate on like the Americans and stuff like that. But then they are like worshiping these like half mixed like Olivia Rodrigo who are pulling up. And let's be real, like Olivia Rodrigo, you know, I'm not dismissing nothing. She is Filipina, period. Cool. But guys, I did not know she was Filipina just by looking at her. I did not know. Like that little Mexican girl that cries. Like you can't sit there and be like, she looks Filipina. That you're fucking lying. You're a liar. That's another thing that I talked about in my YouTube video, but I'm just gonna bring up. I freaking hate the Asian representation where we have to like, sound so mean to say settle, but I'm so tired of Asian representation being our Asian representation. If you are Asian, yes, like you're Asian representation, but you're not like my Asian representation. We need more full Asian representation. Not dismissing that you're like Asians are Asian. There's a distinct difference between seeing someone who's Asian and has Eurocentric features and gets a bit of white privilege versus a full Asian person. On the opposite end, though, I'm dropping some more lore here. I was also a part of a BuzzFeed video, and I've just accepted the fact that this is forever going to be a part of my lore because I still get comments to this day that are like, isn't this that dude from that one BuzzFeed video? Yes, guys, that was me. I was a part of a BuzzFeed video called like Asian high schools or Korean high school student versus American high school student, and they were like comparing what we eat and stuff like that in a week. And I did it because I was like, oh my God, BuzzFeed, this is fun. And I basically just had a vlog a week of me eating. Also, note that this was me in high school. Basically, I ate like shit. I ate like shit in high school. And if you watch that video, I ate a lot of bagels. I got a lot of hate on those comments. And this time by Americans. I was supposed to like represent the Americans or whatever the fuck. I don't even know. Guys, I was like a 17-year-old kid. Okay, I was just trying to have some fun. Y'all were hating on 17-year-old kids. I had to like make my own meals and stuff like that. Not that they forced me, but that's just how I grew up. Like my parents didn't really cook and stuff. So especially in high school, I was just kind of like making my own food and I ate like shit. I will admit. But I was a 17-year-old high school. Sorry, I wasn't having family dinners like that. And then compared to the Korean girl that was in the video, like in Korea, there's a lot of street food, so it's very cheap and accessible. But also she would have like meals cooked for her and stuff. So it obviously just made it look like Korea had like better food and people were like commenting hate on me for what I was eating. And I was like, is it really that big of a deal, guys? Is it really that serious? But apparently it was because I was supposed to represent the American people. Y'all, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. It's just very interesting. And I felt like that related to like the whole Asians from Asia and Asian American thing. Another thing I've been experiencing growing up Asian is comparison to white peers. I talked about this in my YouTube video and I experienced this as a kid, obviously, too. As of right now, I'm fine, but I do go through phases where I get probably like when I'm really insecure and stuff like that. Comparison to my white peers, but not in like a, like I wish I looked like you way. I think I've kind of surpassed that, but more so just being sad that I have no control in getting privilege and getting white privilege. I think that's the thing that really pisses me off is that like people benefit so much from white privilege and pretty privilege, which pretty privilege is just white privilege. It bothers me that I don't have those benefits. And I'm going to get into details about this. I want to be a charming person. That's my goal. One of my goals this year is become a more charming person. And I think anyone can be charming. I've noticed that it's easier for white people to be perceived as charming versus other races. Just like how like white people are looked at as more like compared to like, let's say black people, like when it comes to like looking professional, right? For some reason, black hairstyles are looked at as like unprofessional. And like also when it comes to code switching, I know a lot of black people have to like code switch when they're like on the phone or they're working in like a professional workspace, aka racism. But you know, that's just an example. Similarly to that, like when it comes to being charming, I feel like while white people are looked at in that case, like it's easier for them to look professional or quote unquote professional because that's fucking stupid. But also for white people, while it's easy for them to look quote unquote more professional easier, it's also easier for them to be looked at as more charming. I don't know if this is 100% true. It's kind of just an idea I'm pondering with. Sometimes I notice with my white peers, they are just like looked at as way more likable and people are always more willing to help. They don't know it, but there's like an underlying thing where people are so much more willing to help out a white person, even if they're not racist, but people love to root for a cool, good, spirited white person. And this sounds so broad. And I wish I could like get into details about what I'm thinking about right now. You know what? Let me just tell a story time. This is not what I was thinking about, but I think saying the story time will help you guys picture what I'm trying to say and make it more clear. But basically one time I got invited to this event. It was an Insta Beach event. I don't know how I got invited. That was like 2 years ago. I never got invited back. I don't know if they still do it again or they're still doing it. Never got invited back. And it was like an Instagram event. And it was at like Malibu. And we got like free sushi at that one fancy place. What's it called? What's that fancy sushi place in LA? I forget. And basically, I invited a +1. My +1 was also a creator, but they're not like an influence. It's not like their job. They kind of just do it for fun. But they're definitely in the community. People know of them. I'm not talking shit about this person at all. This person is such a sweetheart. We're still friends. We're not close friends or anything. But at the time of this story, we were just becoming new friends. And I was like making efforts to become like a closer friend because I didn't have that many friends in LA. So I was trying to become this person's friend. It ended up not working out that well because like at a certain point, like I have this rule where it's like if I invite someone 3 times, I'm not going to invite them again. With this person, it was just really hard to like make plans with them. They weren't inviting me to stuff basically. So then I kind of gave up on that. But they're still such a cool person. But this person was a white person. No duh. Like obviously, like that's the whole point of the story. Anyway, they were a white person. Not only were they just like a white person, but they were a very pretty white person. Like this person gained an audience through their looks. I feel like that's very important to know. So at this event, they were my +1. Okay, they didn't get invited. I was invited, and I invited them as a +1 because I was trying to be their friend. And also, I thought it was good because like they're part of the community still. They know what's up. They were a good +1. You know, when we showed up, I couldn't help but notice that when we would talk to people, everyone would just pay attention to him. I'm not talking about like discrimination, like people weren't completely, you know, ignoring me, but I noticed like when people would come up to talk to us, their eyes would be on him. They would be talking to him. They would be speaking to him. They would be asking him questions. And they would talk to me too, but it was like so obvious they wanted to talk to him. That's where their intention and attention laid. My +1 was so nice and would like redirect it to me, introduce me to people because he knew some people there. So they would like reintroduce it to me and stuff. And like, I guess that's an aspect, like people who would talk to us probably already knew him a little bit. But I think there were some people who were complete strangers and they would just give him more attention. There was just such a different tone when I was being spoken to versus them. Again, it was probably like the pretty privilege thing, but pretty privilege comes from white privilege. That's where it stems from. And I remember after that event, I just felt really weird. It was a good experience, but it wasn't the greatest feeling being like, wow, like that was like the first time I really noticed. No, not the first time, but the industry firsthand. It just got me thinking a lot and I can't do anything about it. That's just how the world works. I couldn't help but feel a little bit less than. I was being kind of treated that way. It just felt really bad that people would come up to us and want to talk to him when this type of event is a very networky event, but it was just so clear. It was just so clear that like the difference in the interactions, how much more attention was being paid to him and like how they wanted to talk to him. Like to me, it felt like pity talking. Like just because he was my +1 and I brought him, I think that's why people were talking to me. But if I brought someone else, like if I was there by myself, that would have been a totally different experience. Dude, this isn't the first time I experienced this. I do have white friends, which is, it's cool, you know? Like, okay, I grew up in a white suburb, okay? Like my hometown, my city, it's the type of city where there's trucks and there's like Trump flags, okay? That's the type of city I live in for context. Somehow, I didn't really have that many white friends growing up. A lot of my close friends were POC or mixed. I think I just naturally gravitated towards POC. So I didn't have like that many white friends growing up, and at least any like super close, like I didn't have a best friend that was white. But I think as of like the past few years, I've gone white friends, which is cool. Like also, I don't want this to come across as like I hate white people. Like I don't, guys, I don't. But also like I only like being friends with people who are chill with white jokes. I feel like that's a really good way to tell if someone's chill. And that's how I can tell if I'm gonna be friends with a white person. If I can make white jokes around you and stuff like that, and like, or talk about my problems as a POC person to white people, if you get offended by that, that's a red flag. And you should look into yourself deep down and really think about that. All the white people in my life, all my white friends, if I make a white people joke, you know, they're like laughing, you know, they're like okay with it. When people get offended by that, I'm like, ooh, that's a red flag. I need to watch out for that. Because if someone's offended by that, suddenly I find out they're like moderate politically. And we all know what moderate means. Or you find out secretly they're a Trump supporter. You know, that's at least been my experience. Whenever someone's like, not all men. Who did you vote for? Back to like the Insta Beach event thing. A lot of people saw my friend as charming, him as more charming. And granted, I'm gonna give like the benefit of the doubt. I'm not like a super charming person. I would say I'm a good conversationalist, but I wouldn't say I'm like charming where I'm like constantly complimenting someone. Not that I make people feel bad, but like, you know, I'm just having normal conversation. I'm not trying to like make someone blush over me. I'm working on this year. I feel like I'm trying to, you know, being charming and stuff like that. But I feel like a big part of why people naturally thought he was charming was because he was like a pretty white person. Like, I think he's charming, but I wouldn't say he's like charming like that. Like the way people, I don't know. I think it was just the pretty privilege, honestly. I don't know. People would look at like a pretty white person. They just want to naturally like that person and they naturally want to root for that person. And I think it's easier for them to be perceived as charming. And I have other experiences with this, with knowing other people compared to me, but I can't get into the details of that because maybe on the Patreon I could talk about it. I just noticed now that I do have like more white friends that they get treated a lot differently than me. And I know that's very broad, but that's something I've been noticing a lot lately, especially when it comes to career stuff. They just get so much more help. They get perceived in a way where apparently they're just more charming and like funny and nicer than me, when I really don't think that's true in these experiences, in these situations I'm thinking of. I don't know if any of this made sense, so let me know if you guys have any experience with that and you guys understand what I'm saying. Now I want to just talk about some random things that are happening and I feel like in Asian culture, and I just feel like these things need to be addressed. Let's talk about the Oxford study. I'm just gonna be very truthful with you guys and, you know, admit my flaw. I did believe in the Oxford study. And I still kind of do. That being said, though, I do not stand for all the hate that Asian women have been getting on like TikTok and social media. I will not let the Oxford study cause that. Because I know a lot of that stems from misogyny, and this just gives an excuse for like chronically online losers to like comment hate on these Asian women. And I will not stand for that. I don't like that. Don't fucking do that. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Now, that being said, we can't sit here and be like, it's not a thing. It's not a thing that like some Asian girls are always dating a white guy. And we're talking mid-white guys. This is another thing. I've seen TikToks of like Asian girls with their boyfriends and they're with like a really attractive white person. The comments will still be like, oh, Oxford study. But I'm like, guys, that person's literally a model. Okay. Like anybody would date them. I feel like this episode is going to really offend people. Oh, well. I feel like the Oxford study only applies when the white person is very ugly or very, very mid, and then the Asian girl is super, super hot. That's when the Oxford study applies. Cause then I'm like, girl. And that's not even me being a hater. This is me being a supporter, okay, of my Asian women out there. I know you're watching. I know a large portion of my audience is Asian women. And this is me trying to be a support. This is me looking out for you, okay? I swear to God, when a hot Asian baddie dates a mid-ugly white guy, an angel loses its wings. Guys, please look in the mirror. Please look in the mirror and know what you deserve. That's all I'm gonna say. Unless you're happy though, because you know some people just be really happy and not care about looks. But I think if you're into white guys and that's your type, then that's different. And that's who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? But that being said, I'm kind of over this Oxford study shit. Let's just stop spreading hate. For my Asian girls out there, unless the white person is hella baddie, like baddie, shot o'clock, like God diggity damn, you know? Like if they're a mid guy, no personality, no good attributes, please look into yourself. Please think. And that is all. But it's your life. It's your life, baby. I'm just trying to look out for you. At the end of the day, people are going to date who they date. And this is also not me being like, oh, Asian people should date Asian people. Like, guys, you're talking to someone who has like, I can't even say I dated people because like I've never dated anyone before. But out of my hookup list, very, very diverse, okay? I'm all about that. You know, I feel like people have this weird thing about like interracial relationships and stuff like that, especially Asians. And I'm just like, guys, Asian people don't have to date Asian people. Basically, what I'm trying to say is let people date who they want. Moving on, another thing that I've been seeing lately, kind of like a trope in the Asian community, is the like self-help self-growth Asian bros, especially on YouTube. I'm talking about like the Elliot Choys, the Jed Cows. There's this like trope of people, and usually they go to like, I don't know, UC Berkeley. They have like an electric skateboard, black rimmed glasses, slick back hair, in computer science or finance. Why is that such a trope? And lately it's been like kind of annoying me, even though like literally like nothing's wrong with it. I just feel like it's such like a stereotype. I'm not even hating on like Elliot Choi, or like I haven't watched their videos in a long time, so I don't really know what the vibe is now. I think it's because when I watch their videos, they're always all the same exact person. Like they're always so monotone. You know what? That's what annoys me. Okay, like I think I'm okay with that vibe, you know. I'm sure I am under like some type of stereotype as well. I think it's because I try to watch those videos and they're always all exactly the same and they're all super monotone and boring. And you know, I'd be okay with this if you had some personality. It's just because you're not entertaining. That's it. Can you guys be entertaining, please? Please, like, show some personality. I feel like they all kind of like the same things. Oh my God, they always have an Apple Watch on. Those Asian self-help, self-growth YouTubers always have an Apple Watch. Sometimes it just comes off as really like corny and try hard. I don't know, it just kind of annoys me for no reason. Like I have no reason to be annoyed at them. They're just kind of living their life, doing their own thing. But I also think there's like some type of like pretentiousness. I'm sure those people are actually like really chill in person, but that's just kind of my perception of them when I watch their videos in current Asian things. Facebook propaganda. I mean, I'm sure this is for like all older adults, Asian or not. There's so much Facebook propaganda, and I swear, like Asian elders, they're such easy victims. Why are adults getting all their information? I'm not going to say so much. I know it's because personally, I know my parents aren't reading articles. They're not citing their sources. They're not seeing where this information is from. They don't have media literacy. But honestly, I can't even say the same about Gen Z because some of y'all do not have media literacy. You see a comment on TikTok and you take it as a fucking word. You take it as science. You take it as fact. This Facebook propaganda is rotting their minds, and especially for our Asian adults, at least in the Vietnamese community, a lot of the Vietnamese older community are like Republicans and Trump supporters. And it's because of Facebook propaganda against China. It's so annoying. Back to like the finance bros thing. I've randomly been really interested in financial literacy, and I don't know why, but I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about like financial literacy. I've also been realizing a lot of people my age do not have any financial literacy at all. So would that be like an interesting topic to talk about, like adulting for dummies type video? Let me know. I don't know that much, but I feel like I could do like general topics. Like I know general financial literacy, like how credit cards work, kind of. Also, by the way, if you guys are thinking about opening the Chase Sapphire credit card, let me know so I can send you my referral link. Like DM me and I will send you my referral link so that way we both get points. Yeah, if you guys don't know what the Chase Sapphire card, it's a good card for like traveling. You get a lot of traveling points and stuff like that. It's a good beginner travel credit card. If you guys are thinking of opening up a credit card, I recommend the Chase Sapphire. I think it's a really good basic card, especially if you're just like a person who maybe travels once or twice a year. I think that's a really good card. Let me know if you want my referral link. Moving on to getting deep in the passenger seat. This is the segment where I answer your guys' questions and give you guys advice. It's basically just the Q&A portion. And usually I would get my questions from Patreon. So if you guys want to ask me a question and get it answered, go onto Patreon. But if I'm being honest, none of my patrons have asked me a question. I guess none of you guys have questions? I don't know. So I'm going to be reading a question off of my YouTube comments. Here's the question. I don't know the username. It's at Somni. I was thinking about starting to record videos too, like those slow, quiet type vlogs. I've always wanted to make content and I think now is the time. Would you have any tips for someone who's starting now as 18 years old? I would love to know. Love you. Love you too. Thank you for asking this question. First off, my advice is to have fun with it. I feel like when you're first starting to make videos and it's purely just for fun, purely just for passion, purely because it's just your hobby, it's the most fun because you don't feel limited to do anything. You can film whatever you want, talk about whatever you want, do whatever you want, and you're not caring about gaining an audience. Like, I feel like you shouldn't care about gaining an audience when you're just starting out. Obviously, you can have some strategy, do like a trend that's going on right now, do something popular that's going on right now, like topic-wise. But I feel like when it comes to like your creativity, how you edit and stuff, like just have fun with it and have the strategic side come towards when it comes to like the title of the video or the thumbnail of the video. I feel like that's when you get a bit strategic. When it comes to growth, the title and thumbnail is everything. Like the video could be mid, but as long as title and thumbnail is good, like that's really what's most important because that's what people are going to click on and gain their attention. So I really recommend that. Also, this is another vlogging tip I have. Show it, don't say it. I feel like a lot of people are like, okay, I'm about to do this. And then they have like no B-roll footage. I feel like if you're going to be vlogging, it's more important to show what you're actually doing when it comes to activities and stuff. But also I think it's equally important to talk. I can't watch vlogs where people are not talking. Like a lot of those Korean YouTubers and those Japanese YouTubers that just talk through captions and not actually speaking, I can't watch that. It's just not interesting for me. I need a personality to get attached to. I recommend like talking, but have a topic to talk about. But when it comes to actually like doing an activity, vlog it, show it. Don't say, I'm about to go read a book. Record yourself reading a book. Record yourself at that cafe. Okay, don't be like, I'm about to go to a cafe, and the next step is, okay, I'm back from the cafe. No one cares about that. So that is my tips. Okay, on Aux this week, these are basically my favorites of the week. Music, Genius, and Pilot by Raven Lene. I really have been loving Raven Lene, and her album recently has been on repeat. I've been listening to Will You Lie by Sailor. A lot of Joy Again, who, if you guys don't, you guys probably know their song. This is a love song for a girl who doesn't know it's about her. Yeah, it's pretty stupid, but I'm much too shy to tell her. That song, I really love that song. But I've been kind of exploring the rest of their discography lately, and I really love Necromancer. I've also been listening to a lot of Remy Wolf, Liz, Soup, and Cinderella. I've been listening to Blondes, The Basement, and Josephine. Talk Down by Dijon, Manetta Creek, Blood Orange, and Dropout by Michelle. Other favorites, I've been loving tea. I've been very into drinking a lot of tea lately. And also sewing. I've been really into sewing and getting back into art. Currently, I'm working on a mixed media piece, which is actually hanging above my bed right now. It's not done. I discovered this like art supply craft store, and it's a secondhand store. So everything in there is secondhand and donated, and it's a nonprofit. And I really, really love the concept of the store. And they have so much stuff in there that you can get for cheap. So I bought like a bunch of like scrap fabric for like $3. And I learned how to sew because I didn't know how to like thread a needle and sew and shit. And I sewed all the scrap fabric together. And I kind of made this like patchwork tapestry type thing. And I'm going to paint on it, draw on it, and make it like an actual art piece, which is my first art piece I've made in years. Because I feel like I really fell out of painting and stuff like that. And this was just like a cool way to do it because canvases are really expensive. And also I just really like the concept of like recycling and making art out of things that would have been thrown away. And the fact that like this entire art piece is going to be like recycled fabric, and the fabric is going to be my canvas because canvases are so expensive. And it's like a large canvas, and also it's just like interesting, and I'm going to be using like old paints, like secondhand paints and stuff. And I don't know, I just really like that idea of like making art out of things secondhand or that were going to be thrown away or like quote unquote trash. Because I feel like buying new art materials is such a waste. And lastly, my favorite is hand lotion. I wanted like a hand lotion to put into my everyday bag. So this is a little ultra moisturizing hand cream from Trader Joe's. I want to try out the Aesop hand cream just because it looks really fancy and bougie. And also after climbing, I like to put on lotion on my hands, obviously, because they get really dry from climbing, and also like a lot of calluses and scraped up from climbing. So a lot of, it's common to like put on lotion afterwards. So been using this. It's all right, honestly. I think just hand cream in general is my favorite, not specifically this one. That is basically all that is on Aux this week. Thank you guys so much for listening and parking your butt with me today. I was actually going to talk about my travels in Asia this past summer. Didn't even have time to talk about that. So I guess I'll just talk about that in the extended episode, which if you guys do not know, every week I film an extended for 30 minutes. I just keep the camera rolling and keep talking for 30 more minutes. And that goes onto Patreon every single week. So if you guys want to watch the 30-minute extended, go onto Patreon. Yeah, and there's also a bunch of other content on there. I have like previous podcasts I did. I spill a lot of tea on there. I spill a lot. I don't really have like too much of a filter on there. And there's just things I could talk about more freely on there when there's a paywall. And also I just really appreciate, I've been getting a lot of patrons lately, and I'm really appreciative. I'm so grateful for you guys. And also I feel it's a bit better. It's a bit easier for me to connect to people on Patreon because there's just like more limited amount of comments. So I can actually like respond and fully and like interact with you guys fully. And also there's other perks. There's some bonus videos on there. Also I post my YouTube videos on there ad free and earlier. What else do I post on there? There's just like older podcasts where I'm just like spilling a bunch of tea. And what else do I post on there? Random pictures, sneak peeks. Oh, I've been I commissioned my friend to make an intro for us, which it will be coming soon. I still have to edit it and also find intro music and get intro music made for that, for the podcast. But I think I'm going to post like an early little sneak peek of the intro onto Patreon this week. Okay, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening, and happy Lunar New Year. Bye!